So today we're going to go over a few things that you can mix together to make your own pesticides. And they're probably things that you've actually got in your house right now. And while we go over some of these things, I'll pop links in the description for some of the things that we mentioned throughout this video. So to help us with this continuing battle throughout the entire season against things like aphids, white cabbage butterfly, spider mites and other insects, we need to have on hand something at all times that we can use to combat that problem. And the first one, which I know has already been mentioned by quite a few of you guys yesterday, is just basic washing up liquid and water. And to do that one, it's basically really easy. It's just a couple of tablespoons of washing up liquid and a pint of water. And then you can mix them up into your spray bottle, so you've got it on hand when you need it. And that's probably the cheapest one that you can do, but there are more effective ones out there that you can do as well. So another one that you can use is Castile soap, because that contains natural oils like olive oil, for example. So you just want to take 1 tablespoon of Castile soap and then 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, and you can mix that then into a gallon of water or 5 litres. And using one of these is going to make it a lot faster, because these hold basically a gallon, 5 litres, and then you've got a nice reach for spraying all your plants. And as we're talking about spraying your plants, it's not just a case of spraying them on top. You need to spray under the leaves, because that's where you'll find these insects lay most of their eggs. And unless you lift a leaf up and have a look, you'll miss them. So that's a thing that's definitely worth remembering. And also the fact that anything that you mix up that contains any type of oil, don't spray it in full sun, because even that small amount of oil will eat up and could possibly burn the leaves of your plants. So it either wants doing early morning or last thing at night. And another thing that you can use, if you can actually get it, which is probably one of the best oils out there, is neem oil. And for that one you would mix 1 tablespoon of neem oil with half a tablespoon of washing up liquid and 5 cups of water. And again, that would quite easily fit into your small spray bottle. And neem oil is probably one of the most potent ones against aphids and other insects, but it depends whether you can actually get that in your country. Also, there's other types of oils that you can use that are really effective against these insects. Things like thyme and peppermint and rosemary oils. A combination of those mixed together will instantly kill aphids, for example. But if you do have cats, it might be one that you want to avoid, because the peppermint oils are quite toxic to cats, so you might need to avoid that particular one. But if you don't have cats, then you're good to go with something like that. Another one you might want to try, since we're all definitely going to be growing these through the year, are tomato leaves. If you take the leaves off a tomato plant, and through the season we are going to be pricking off suckers and branches just to keep those plants at bay. Then you can take some of these leaves, and if you chop them up and then soak them overnight in a jar in some water, then you can drain it the next day into one of your spray bottles, then dilute it, adding some more water to it, and then you're good to go outside and spray all your crops with it. And although this sounds like a really simple recipe, it's proven to be really potent against aphids. Garlic's another one of those plants that we all tend to grow as well in garden, and again they can be really effective against aphids especially. And you can whip together again another little spray that you can use, but the downside to this one is that it can also be toxic to ladybirds. So if you do get a lot of ladybirds in your garden, I mean they're the #1 insect for eating aphids, so they help you out. But some places don't get ladybirds, so if you don't, you can use that garlic spray. And you just want to mince up several cloves of garlic, then add 4 teaspoons of oil, So you can use vegetable oil or you can use sunflower oil. Then add a pint of water to that and 1 teaspoon of washing up liquid. And then pop that into your spray bottle and you're good to go again. And then there's another one that I personally tend to use every year. Because I used it, it worked. So I never saw the need to change to anything else. Although I am going to be experimenting with a few of the previous mentioned ones this year. So for this one, you're going to be using bicarbonate of soda or sodium bicarbonate, not baking powder, not baking soda. There's a difference. And you just want to put together 1 litre of water, 2 to 3 teaspoons of bicarbonate of soda, and then 1 teaspoon of vegetable or sunflower oil. And then you finish that with 1 teaspoon of washing up liquid and mix that all together in your spray bottle. But again, remember, anything that you're mixing that contains oils, never when the sun's blazing down through summer. And another one that you can do that may not seem so obvious is orange peel. And the way to do that is to cut up some orange peel and pop that in a jar. Then fill that jar with boiling water. And that will extract the oils from that orange peel overnight. And then that can go straight into your spray bottle. You don't need to add anything else to that. And it's basically a repellent. And that will repel aphids, ants and spider mites. Plus, apart from these recipes that you can put together, because we're growing different types of vegetables all through the year, there's also things that you can plant near other plants that are susceptible to be attacked by insects. And one of the most common that I'm sure we all grow every year are alliums. So things like onions, garlic, chives and leeks. If they're interplanted with, say, your brassicas, which are very susceptible to being attacked, especially by aphids and cabbage white butterfly. If you plant some of these, they're not taking a lot of space home. You can put them in between your rows, and that's going to repel, because of the smell, it will repel quite a lot of insects. You could also interplant herbs as well, because there's certain herbs out there that they don't like, and they'll give them a wide berth. And the main ones for those are such as basil, rosemary, mint and parsley. So if you do like your herbs, interplant some of your herbs amongst things like your brassicas, and that is going to help a lot. You can also plant flowers, and certain flowers again will repel insects. Things like marigolds and lavender. It's because of that scent, which is again going to repel insects. Also things like catnip, that's got a really strong smell. And although cats may be fond of that plant, the insects are definitely not. So you could interplant things like that as well. But because they're quite attractive to cats, you might want to be netting that area as well, just to keep them off your vegetable patches. So that's a few things that we've gone over. Some that you'll know of, some that you probably don't. And we can mix the spraying of all these plants with these homemade pesticides throughout the year with interplanted herbs and flowers, and create a perfect area for us to grow that those things hate. While at the same time as doing that, we're creating organic pesticides as well, instead of buying these all year long. So I hope you found that video informative and helpful. And as I said, I'll pop links in the description for some of the things that we've mentioned during this video. And if you want to try a few out, try them out, and then let me know what you thought of them. Did they work for you? And we'll be doing videos later in the season as well, how to deal with powdery mildew, which can be a problem, especially on things like cucumbers, melons and pumpkins. But we'll get to that in due course. So if you want to see that video when we upload it, just hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and we'll see you next time. You all take care. Thank you very much for watching.